first time that Ricky came over, I remember it was after school. We came over and we wanted to play some songs. He brought his electric guitar, and because I had always played on an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, and you begged and begged and begged for that, and we said you couldn't have it to learn how to play the piano.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Ricky.
But yeah, so Ricky came over. We were playing a kind of a heavier song, and I was trying to learn how to scream a little bit. Come on! And so I screamed, and Mom comes running down the hall. She's like, "What are you doing? Stop that screaming right away!
Don't do that!
Yeah, you're gonna hurt your nice voice." We've really started to incorporate more harmonies. We're being more influenced by bands like Queen and the Beatles.
Yes,
and
yes.
We have.
And I love it that you go back and you listen to the old classical rock and roll.
Right. Yeah.
Matter of fact, just in this last year, we've attended a concert for Elton John.
Yes.
And we've attended Sir Paul
McCartney.
Paul McCartney. And we've just, I feel like this is like his master's degree. Goes to these concerts, it's the way he's getting his education.
Yeah.
My education was in the classroom and at universities and on the stage, but his is to travel, to sing the rock and roll, to work with crowds. It's to learn the business. But he goes to hear the classical singers, rock and roll singers, not my classical singers.
My classical singers.
Your classical singers.
And I'd watch Paul McCartney and see how he interacts with the crowd, what he says in between his songs.
Yeah. What impressed you the most about Paul McCartney? Do you remember? We talked about it on the way home.
He didn't take one drink of water.
No.
The whole time he was an hour and a half show. And Paul McCartney, he's
70.
like, he's got this like screaming kind of thing that he does still. Like
I think
in
his
Live or Let
backup
Die.
band kind of does that for him these days.
No, he did it. I was taking notes.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
That's the kind of person that I really look up to, somebody who made an impact, a huge impact on the world while they were here, like when he was in the Beatles, and yet he's 70 and he's still doing it. He's still touring. He's still changing people's lives.
Yeah.
I
think it's really amazing that this guy who started out when I was a kid, and my mother wouldn't let me listen to the Beatles at the first because they had that long hair.
It honestly took more time for me to learn how to sing in a way that wasn't classical.
But I feel like because you have that background and you've listened to me teach over and over and over again over the years, I think that will keep you healthy through your years, like Sir Paul.
Yeah.
He went through a rough time in middle school, and I think that helped him to figure out who he was. He didn't know who he was. He went to a school with a lot of there just happened to be a lot of guys in his class, and he was an okay athlete, but I think that...
She's giving me too much credit. I was not an okay athlete. I was pretty bad.
He was pretty funny in basketball.
There's a reason why I am a singer and a musician.
He was angry at the time. 12, 13-year-olds, they're pretty angry little people because they don't know who they are. They aren't so little. I shouldn't call them little people, young people.
Yeah, I was probably about the same size. I haven't grown much since then.
But the point is that he came home and he worked his anger out through the words.
Through music.
And through the music. He explored a lot of groups that I didn't like. Mm-hmm. And I would see some things and hear it and take it away from him.
And I would go and download it illegally online and listen to it anyway.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah. But I think that had a lot to do of him really deciding who he is. When he was angry, he'd go to the piano and pound.
I want to scream so loud for you, because I'm so proud of you. Let me tell you what I'm about to do.